Well, good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Iori Folani. Hope you had a great weekend. And so here we are at the beginning of the week. And we're landing in Sokoto State, where, you know, the governor, Dr. Ahmad Aliyu Sokoto, holds sway. And we will be talking about, you know, his, shall we say, his service so far and how he has been able to overcome challenges that he inherited. Our guest this morning is media consultant and public affairs analyst, Mr. Emmanuel Addo. Good morning to you, Mr. Addo.
Good morning, viewers.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Have things improved in Sokoto? Because I asked that against the backdrop of observations when the governor came into office, that he was, in fact, one writer referred to it as he inherited a state with an acute water shortage. And we all know what that leads on to. You don't have water, it leads on to, you know, health issues, and you don't have health, where are you going to get a population that is strong and ready to work? So that's why I asked that question first, and we can just go from there. Has the, there's something called the Tamaje Water Project. Maybe you'll sort of update us on how that is looking now, because water is critical, water is life.
Okay. Thank you very much for your question. So if you want to limit the situation that Governor Ahmed Aliyu Sokoto inherited simply to that of acute water shortage that Sokoto faced, I mean, that would not tell the whole story of how bad the situation was when he took over. The truth of the matter, first and foremost, is that for Aminu Tambuwal, the former governor who parades himself as a Democrat, not to have handed over officially to the governor, I think that was a big challenge. I also thought that background is important.
It is.
So when he took over, because he came in prepared, lack of handover didn't stop him, but the situation was really pathetic because he took over. There were more than 14 billion liabilities in gratuity, and like you said, Sokoto was facing acute water shortage. Again, civil servant salary was not being paid as at when due. The government house itself was in darkness because of the liabilities to Kaduna Electricity Company. The water, that also affected the water works. Since they were not paying, they were yanked off the grid. So the schools were dilapidated despite the state of emergency that Aminu Tambuwal had declared. So he took over a state that treated water. And I think also because he's a man that has integrity, the universities listened to him. They allowed Sokoto State students to write their exams, and he was able to offset the liabilities, just like Kaduna Electricity restored water. And then he took over, and for him, very critical is that public servants, hello, are you with me?
Yes, we can hear you.
That public, yeah, okay, that public servants who have decided to give their youth to the state get paid. In Sokoto State, what's today? Today is 15th, 16th. In the next 4 or 5 days, they are going to get their salaries. That is an article of faith since he took over.
Let me come back to that. I beg your pardon, sir. So let me come back to that article of faith that you just spoke about. Because I have to announce that we're also, for our viewers, we're switching over to a live event in Abuja, Transforming Africa's Rail Landscape, a stakeholders, industry leaders conference for the second International Railway Conference exhibition. But as for the other viewers, if you want to stay with this program, our YouTube channel is there. Please reconnect.
We have quite a number of members of the Federal Executive Council here.
Okay, so Mr. Addo, thank you very much. But you were just talking about this article of faith, you know, where the governor had to step in on behalf of the citizenry.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Your question.
I'm sorry I interrupted you. You know, this is how these things go. You were speaking, I interrupted you. I wonder if you're finished.
Okay, so he didn't complain. He didn't bemoan his fate that he inherited a state that was technically bankrupt with liabilities. And being an accountant, that came to play because he has managed the resources of Sokoto State prudently. And the other thing about him, so while his predecessor abandoned projects, whether it was housing, roads, and water that Wamako had started, and even the social poverty alleviation schemes, empowerment programs, he didn't complain. He only went back. Do we need houses in Sokoto? Yes. These houses were started by my father, my leader, 500 housing units. He completed those housing units. He started another 500, which he has completed. He's doing another 500. He bought 136 houses built by the Federal Ministry of Housing, which was lying fallow, and all for the benefit. So anything that is for the benefit of the people of Sokoto, Governor Aliu, count him on. He is doing them. So he's done that. As I speak, he's commissioned 2 water, out of 6 water projects, he has commissioned 2 out of 6. So the people of Sokoto are patient and they understand that equipment for water projects are not things that you buy off the shelf, like powder or Vaseline. So they have to be manufactured to specifications. They see the road signs, and where he can, he's doing solar boreholes, while he's also working on the other 4 water projects. The whole idea for him is that he will do and put into use about 40 million liters of water per day for the people of Sokoto. But again, you know, these projects were abandoned, costs have changed and all that. But again, because it's financially prudent, as I speak, it gives, if you go to Sokoto, you get a contract, you get your 30%, and you will, on completion, you will get your balance of payment. So the roads that were abandoned, hospital projects, and especially health, again, I like what the governor has been able to do. Not only, he has a man, Dr. Abubakar, who spent 35 years in the medical, as chief executive of Nursing and Midwifery Council. And he brought him on board, and the difference is showing in the health sector. As I speak, strategically, each of the 3 senatorial districts, while they are working on the primary health care centers. Each of the senatorial districts, they have all the necessary equipment to run tests, whether it's scan, whether it's radio, whatever it is that is needed
is
to
now
run tests. You don't need
now
to
available.
come to Sokoto. If you need to do a CT scan in your local government headquarters, senatorial district, there is a hospital. So they are working up that.
Okay.
And I think along the line, the specialist hospital, which is about
no wonder I read somewhere. Sorry, no wonder I read somewhere. No wonder I read somewhere he's referred to as sort of the infrastructure dominator. I was just reading that in the press because of his efforts in that direction. But somebody has joined us. Dr. Olatoye Drosimi, AIG retired. He wants to join the program. Good morning to you, Dr. Drosimi. Is it going to be like that again? Dr. Drosimi, good morning to you, sir. Dr. Olatoye Drosimi, can you hear us? I'm so sorry about this. Dr. Olatoye Drosimi, AIG retired. Can you hear us? Well, apparently not. But maybe if there's anybody else near him who is watching television, they'll tell him that we're calling you, you are delaying us. Okay, so, run-down facilities, you've just been explaining to us how the governor wasn't going to stand for any of that. And by the way, you've referred to the governor about a couple of times, perhaps a bit, maybe 3 times, as the young man. Indeed, he is 55, possibly the youngest governor in the country. I'm not too sure about that statistic, but he does stand out in that regard.
Yeah.
So I just thought I'd bring that to bear.
Yeah.
Is Olatoye Drosimi there yet? No. Okay. Okay. So sorry about that. But so rundown facilities, you were saying that he has a very...
I was talking about what he has done in the health sector.
That's right.
So you have a situation where doctors, nurses, and other medical professionals, they hardly want to go for rural postings. And so what has he done? The State Executive Council approved the proposal by the Health Commissioner that mandatory 2 years posting.
Okay.
You go to Sokoto, you have too many doctors, too many nurses, radiographers, and everybody. But all the other hospitals in the local governments, they lack personnel. And the novel thing they introduced, if you are from Sokoto State and once you gain admission, and when I say Sokoto State, if your son is in Sokoto State, he's considered an indigenous Sokoto. He doesn't pay WAEC fee, the state government pays. Whether you are Chukwuemeka, whether you are Yori, whatever your name. So if you gain admission and you are reading any of the medical courses, the Sokoto State government pays you scholarship. But if you are a medical doctor, nurse, and all that, once you get to the point where, like a medical doctor, you get to your MBBS 2, you are offered automatic employment. And that automatic employment, you are on about level 8, so you are on full salary. And when you graduate, you are going to work for the state government for at least 2 years in a rural posting. So that is an idea that has solved a big problem for the state of rural posting, people refusing rural posting.
Now you can't refuse. It's policy. It's policy.
Personnel.
You can't refuse now. It's policy.
Yes, it's state policy approved by the State Executive Council. So that is very, very critical in addressing the issue of shortage of manpower. And then the commissioner boasted, he said, those who wanted to leave us are now They are now back. They retrieved their resignation letters because we are matching the federal government, what the federal government is paying.
Okay. So
on the whole, whether it's education, where consecutively for 2 years now, the governor has surpassed the UNESCO 25% allocation of your budget for education. He has surpassed it. But you know, it's not about money always. It's about whether the money is well utilized, whether it's deployed, what are the critical issues, school buildings, teachers. Teachers is critical. And I remember the governor commending his commissioner for basic and secondary education for reintroducing inspections, which he leads. So now you have a situation where teachers, headmasters, principals are held accountable. They are well paid, and now they are in the classrooms. So you have you have schools that are being renovated, you have classrooms being added where necessary, and then teaching materials made available. But most importantly is that teachers are being made to teach. And then the community, through the school-based management system that has been introduced, the local government chairman, the district head, village head, where necessary, are part of school management teams. So you see what is happening in the school in your area, in your village, in your town. So enrollment has improved in Sokoto State. The results we might not see it. Ahmed has just spent 2 years of his first 4 years. We might not see the results, but immediately. But the investments in education, definitely, we are going to see. And being somebody who has a PhD in accounting, he understands that 21st century is about knowledge education. It's a knowledge age. So he's making investment in that area. So I think on the whole, I want to give the governor kudos. I'm not being over generous in my praise, because they say if you praise somebody who is doing well and is on track, he will do more. And I think that point he made himself when Sun newspaper conferred Governor of the Year 2024 on him. He made the point, he said, this is not where I want to be, so I am not going to rest. I'm going to keep firing. And I say to Governor Ahmed Aliu Sokoto, if he's watching this, I say, please, you are young. We thank God for your young age, so you can visit all the local governments in 2 days and meet with your people, find out their needs. So remain dedicated. Don't get carried away. Like you keep saying, you are not yet there. So if he continues on this trajectory, I think Sokoto, assuming Aminu Tambuwa did what he is doing now, and he has come to build on what, assuming Aminu built on Wamako's foundation, and Aliu is doing what he is doing now, the story of Sokoto would have been different. Changed.
Okay. Well, but the governor,
drastically,
as you said, the governor is not whining. The governor is just rolling up his sleeves, metaphorically speaking, and is just, getting on with it. And in this connection, tell me a bit about his ideas for the poor roads, or have those become a thing of the past? I'm sure that's something that will also catch his attention.
The roads?
Yes.
You are asking about roads?
Yes, I am. There was a time when people used to talk about
Not only is he doing roads, he's doing roads with drainages, and then the good thing again, solar powered streets. So I was in Sokoto in July, and I was out in the night. I saw, I'm not saying they said. So he's wanting to do roads without drainages and without lights, but he's doing all. And then he's also putting perimeter wire mesh in the roads to guide against reckless drivers that have been knocking down school children and pedestrians who cross the road. And that has drastically reduced accidents, I must say. And then overhead bridge near schools are beginning to come up. That's again somebody who all his life has lived in Sokoto, except for when he came to Abuja to be executive secretary of the police equipment fund. So he's somebody who all his life has lived in Sokoto, so he knows the people, he understands their needs. And so roads, yes, he's tackling issue of drainages, which is good, because you do roads and there are no drainages. The water that piles up damages your road. So he's doing that, and his commissioner for works, who is the deputy governor, I think he's an engineer or quantity surveyor. So they are doing good roads. And I'll give you an example of a place I went in July, which the Addo State Governor commissioned. They call it, I hope I get the spelling, pronunciation right, they call it Bera Community. For more than 20 years, that community, this time of the year, is a nightmare for them. But as I speak now, they have network of roads. He demolished houses, paid compensation far above market value of those houses, because he needed to get people to allow him do what he wanted, which was expand the roads, to also have drainages. So Bera community, whether you had a four-wheel drive, was a nightmare. But now that community is somewhere you can drive in and out. So I think that's something again about the governor. Whether it's the Sahara area, mostly they used to call non-indigenous area that was abandoned. You need to go and see the network of roads in that area that he has completed too. So, like you said, you read about him being an infrastructure denominator.
Yes.
I think that truly describes what Amadou Alou is doing in Sokoto. And I know you want to talk eventually about security.
I was saying let us start with good news.
Too in security.
Yes.
Come again?
I said I thought we'd start with, encouraging news before we go to security, because that usually is a challenge with the kind of groups, non-state actors that are busy terrorizing innocent citizens. But let's go in there. Maybe you can start. Or I'm looking at, should I go on a break and come back and Okay, I'll tell you what. Let me go on a break so that I won't have to interrupt you too much. I'll just take a quick break. We'll be right back and we'll go into security in Sokoto. Thank you for staying with us, or indeed, welcome. If you've just joined us, there's still, quite a bit to talk about. We've been hearing from Mr. Emmanuel, Addo, media consultant and public affairs analyst, that when the governor arrived at his duty post, the state was seen to be on critical life support, so to speak, to use a metaphor. But today, through the doggedness of the governor, we're hearing that things are looking up much better than where we started, which is not the same as saying that there isn't a heck of a lot more to do, but things, he didn't just throw up his arms. He got to work. So kudos to the governor. Now let's talk about security and any other area. What's the security situation like? Because these non-state actors, and Sokoto being where it is, the state has no doubt been troubled. Tell us, how is the citizenry feeling now?
Well, let me start on this note. It's important for us to understand, first and foremost, that when it comes to security, it is essentially within the purview of the federal government of Nigeria. They control the police, they control the armed forces, all the coercive forces are under their control. And it's important that that point is made. Yes, the states have risen to the occasion, like Sokoto State has, because it is their people primarily who are being killed. So, but I hope the president will keep his promise. Do we need more men? Do we need more men, more boots on the ground? Yes. It's not just Sokoto, Zamfara, Katsina. The Katsina state government the other day led a powerful delegation to the president, where the president agreed that the National Assembly, I still don't understand why the National Assembly has not been able to amend the constitution to allow for state or community police. It is important that we allow states who, if you ask me, are literally funding security agencies in their states, whether in provision of vehicles, allowances, payment of allowances to personnel, insurance scheme for the men and women who are putting their lives on the line to fight these terrorists. So be that as it may, Sokoto has established a community corps, and tragically they have also suffered losses. I think they lost 5 of their men to these bad guys. So, and primarily what do? They help being indigenous of the local governments. They understand, they know the terrain, they know themselves. So when they see strangers, they're able to tip off. The security agencies. And this is a governor who understands the fact, is not making excuses that the provision securities within the purview, constitutionally within the purview of the federal government. He has built a military barracks in Ilela, our border with Niger Republic. So he has provided, as at the last count, I saw the SSG donating vehicles to the security agencies. He's done more than 170 vehicles, Buffalo vehicles. I mean, first state to do that number for the military and other security agencies. So the efforts are in Sokoto now, but do we need more from the federal government? Yes, I understand there's a new military depot, Osogbo or somewhere in the southwest, in addition to Zaria. So we need, if you ask me, if we do 500,000 more soldiers, one will be able to. This is an embarrassment. The security situation is an embarrassment to us as a people. And of course, if you come across people, the tales of wars and all that, it's something that we should give ourselves a deadline and deal with. So if we do 500,000 more men and women, more boots on the ground, then we would have been able to deal with this issue. And then we'll create jobs. I don't mind. The president will have the money. He said he has surpassed his revenue target for the year. Place these 500,000 people, train them. This is a country that fought a civil war, my brother, if you remember. And it was decisive. Let's give ourselves 3 years and deal with these security challenges. Take 500,000. Kwara State is coming on, not Sokoto now with on its eastern border. Kwara State, that used to be the only state you would say in the north central that was peaceful, is coming on. We are beginning to hear about the security challenges there. Niger State is bad. Katsina is bad. Zamfara is bad. So we need these men, because what happens if you have an operation in Sokoto, these men run to Zamfara. If you do something in Zamfara, they either run to Katsina or they run to, there's that thick forest. They run to Kaduna, through to Niger. They keep moving. But if we have more men, those ungoverned spaces will be governed. They will not have that luxury of moving from here to there. So if the president can just do this 500,000 men and women more, we need to do it.
Okay.
Even if it's what do you call it? Emergency recruitment.
Okay, you're talking about state police. You recall, I beg your pardon, you're talking about state police. Come again? You're talking about state police.
Yeah.
And you recall that I think it was last week or so. Yeah, it can't have been much earlier than last week. The president had said that he was fully behind state police. The proposal, he was fully behind the proposal, but these things need to be worked out. Yes. So the president is on it, you know, and it hasn't become a law yet.
Yeah. Look, if the National Assembly is serious, and I say this with all sense of responsibility, Governor Obasani, as a senator, had four consequential bills on the amendment of the Constitution, and that would have helped. So that bill is there. You don't need somebody to start afresh. That bill was killed at the what do you call it, the joint conference between the Senate and the House.
Okay.
House of Reps.
A plenary, or what do they call it?
So that bill had gotten to that stage. So they should take it up. I remember Obasanjo's regime, when the United States gave us a deadline that if we don't pass the NFIU bill, we were going to suffer some consequences. They called the National Assembly back to work, and they did the needful. So we, on this issue of security, the National Assembly should wake up. Give the states, they should stop looking at their own interests, that the governor, the likelihood of the governor using the state police against them. All these are issues that the law can take care of.
Indeed. And with the president behind the idea, it's going to be different. I have no doubt in my mind, because the president has come out and has said, you know, frontally, that the time is now for state police. Because from what you
absolutely.
Because from what you are saying,
and can you imagine if we employ 500,000 youths, and wipe out this insecurity? We will create jobs, and we will secure our people.
Okay.
We are not at war, but the last NBS record shows that we have more than 300 IDP camps with about 1.2 million of our citizens in those camps.
Okay. Your Honor, I tell you what.
And I
beg your pardon. I'm so sorry. I beg your pardon. The caller that we couldn't connect with has called back again. Dr. Olatoye Drosimi, AIG retired. Okay. Can you hear us now? Good morning.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir.
My contribution is on security and agriculture.
Well, he's talking about security now. So even if you want to talk about agriculture, I think you've come in at the right time. You being you're recently retired police officer, and we're just talking about state police that Mr. President is fully behind. And my guest, I don't know if you heard him, he was just saying that this is one of the most important things to be done now. We do need this state police. In fact, he's going as far as saying that 500,000 men, 500,000 additional boots on the ground. So if you could take it from there, sir.
Yeah, I think state police is a necessity now. And if anyone is saying that we don't need state police, that one doesn't know what he's saying. We need state police in Nigeria. We even need campus police on our universities, like it's done in other nations. What we have in Nigeria today is beyond what we can just say we don't need police, state police again. Because most of this insurgency and the insecurity in the north, especially, policing aspect can actually solve the problem. You can see the achievement of DSS in recent times. Policing system in the sense that the trained police will just be part of the so-called people, gather the necessary information, and then we strike at the right time. It's not every time we do the shooting, the air bombardment, and all the rest. If we embark on massive recruitment of policemen and with proper training and equipment, most of this insurgency we are talking about in the north will be a thing of the past. That is, I think, what we need to do is that the state governor will liaise properly with the commissioner of police in the state and other head of security to ensure that there are proper deployment. And if that is done, we know who and who and who. In Sokoto State, that aspect of insecurity. Number one is those insurgents who are actually occupying territory where our gold and other solid minerals are naturally, God has put them there. So they will take over that place, exploiting whatever they are doing there and exporting it illegally. That will have helped us to actually boost our economy. Imagine gold. The number of gold that have been taken out of Sokoto and Zamfara. It's not a joke. So we need to attack and ensure that we displace them from that area, every means possible, to ensure that these people who are collecting, who are actually taking away our collective wealth are dealt with. The second arm of insecurity in Sokoto are those people who don't want Nigeria to have enough food. They continue to attack agricultural camps. They continue to attack farmers and make sure that they don't even allow them to produce food during the planting season. And they will still come back to deal with farmers during the harvesting season. What we need to do is to ensure that we have enough boots on the ground, like your guest said. And we are especially policing, actually intelligent policing. Once they have the necessary information, then they will act on it and ensure that those guys are taken out of power.
Okay.
And the other one is agriculture. Agriculture must be made sexier, like the president has said it in Abuja. We need to get what they call the smaller thing, the sun. They have these solar-powered water pumping machines because we have abundant sun in Sokoto State. If we have solar-powered pumping machines and distributed at subsidized prices to farmers, definitely they will produce enough vegetables, enough tomatoes, enough onions and other things, including beans. Sokoto State is very rich in terms of agricultural land, but we are not exploiting it enough. If these youths that are roaming about the street are able to get employment, insurgency and it will be reduced to the barest minimum. And idle hand is a devil workshop. The governor is trying, but he can do more in agriculture and security. That is my contribution.
Thank you very much, Dr. Drosimi, AIG retired.
But let me meet him. Let me meet him where he stopped. I'm happy he's somebody who is following what the governor is saying, what the governor is doing. He's done a lot of investments in agriculture. Like you know, Sokoto is an agrarian state, largely speaking. So he's done a lot. What has he done? He's working on rehabilitating dams for round-the-year farming. He's done. He has provided farmers with fertilizer, truckloads of fertilizer for each local government. He's also provided seedlings and insecticides, pesticides, and all that for the farmers. And he's also focused on agro-processing so that the farmers can really improve their income, which is critical for him. And I will tell you this, until I went to Sokoto, I didn't know the truckloads of onions leaving Sokoto for the West Coast, Benin, Togo, Ghana. Unbelievable what they are doing. And the governor is not unaware of this. So, but can they make more money? That's where his focus is on. And he has just, I think he's awaiting the report of the Economic Council that he put together to give him a blueprint on what to do. Of course, he's not sleeping while that committee is working. The Economic Council is working, you know. So he's doing a lot in terms of agriculture, round-the-year farming, and insurance scheme for them, so that if anything goes wrong, the farmer is not left high and dry.
Okay.
So
you know,
can Sokoto do better?
Yes.
I think that's the operating motto of the governor, that I can do better. Whatever he's done now, he's always, I can do better. And I like that about the governor. He's not sitting and saying, oh, I've arrived. No. His mentality is that if I've done 20 schools, I can do 40.
I get you.
And
now,
with that kind of mentality, Sokoto State is lucky.
Okay. One of the things that sorry, sir. One of the things that that last caller spoke about was implements, agricultural implements, and then making them as simple as as possible. Because let us face it,
he's done that. He's provided tractors. He has provided.
Well, tractors are big. I understand that there are some hand plows. I understand there are some hand plows, and because the tractors are, you know, these are serious equipment. Yes, they will have their uses, but
those I think he has given to the women groups, because he believes in women. He's a governor who believes in the empowerment of women, and I like that about him, because if you empower a woman, you know what that means. It's the whole family that you are empowering, because from her little profit, she's going to make sure there's food in the house, and she's going to ensure that her children go to school. Women can be that resourceful. So I like what he's doing in his empowerment program, and which cuts across the whole sectors. Even though he has just established a ministry of empowerment, skills acquisition and empowerment, it still doesn't stop agriculture from doing certain things. It still doesn't stop humanitarian from doing certain things, though everybody comes and they work together with the ministry to ensure that there's no duplication of functions by the local government, by the other ministries. So I like that. The fact that
let me ask you. Sorry. Let me ask you. Let me ask you, sir. I beg your pardon for interrupting you, but I think there's some slight delay. Have we begun to see results, the intended results from these initiatives, especially the can-do spirit of the governor? Have the people begun to actually see the desired results? Or is this still a work in progress?
There's absolutely no doubt. No. Education, it's going to take time to see the results. He's just been on the seat for 2 years, but what he is doing, ensuring that teachers are hired for schools, they are well paid now. I think the commissioner told me the least paid is about 70,000, so they are well paid. They are being trained and retrained. That is very, very important. They have learning materials. That is important. The environment has improved. The learning environment has improved. Water and sanitation has improved in schools, hospitals too. That is critical. So yes, there are areas that you can easily see. The roads you can see. Easily you can see investments in the agriculture. I mean, that you can see. Water you can see easily. There are tangible things you can easily see.
Even the hospitals, medical equipment,
the right trajectory.
Medical equipment,
yes.
Medical equipment. You were very proud. You were very proud of the medical facilities.
Yes.
In the rural areas,
if you go to the specialist hospital, you go to the rural areas. I think the two local governments without hospital, Wamako and Tamboa, the State Executive Council has approved the construction of general hospitals. Because the idea is that each of these 23 local governments should have a functional general hospitals. Only serious cases should be referred to the tertiary hospital. So the investment in health we can see. The issue of inadequate manpower has been critically addressed. The issue of payment, because Sokoto pays well, they are attracting and they are retaining their medical personnel. And when I say personnel, including these people that do records, cards, they are critical, keeping patients' records and all that. So are there things that we can easily see and say, yes, can we give the governor a pass mark? And I'll tell you something about the governor.
Well, we've almost run out of time. I beg your pardon.
He's somebody who truly believes that public service is about giving your total commitment to uplifting and touching lives of the people. And
that's a fine place to leave it. I beg your pardon, sir. Mr. Addo, that's a fine place to leave it. We've completely run out of time. Yeah. But I do want to thank you very much for coming on the program.
Oh my God.
And updating us about
Thank you very
Sokoto.
much for having me.
Our pleasure. Thank you very much. We're going to have to leave it there. Do please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Iyori Folarin. Bye-bye for now.